Jesus predicts his own death in Mark chapter 8. It says this, "Then Jesus began to tell them that he, the Son of Man, would suffer many terrible things and be rejected by the leaders, the leading priests, and the teachers of religious law. He would be killed, and 3 days later he would rise again." As he talked about this openly with his disciples, Peter took him aside and told him he shouldn't say things like that. Jesus turned and looked at his disciples and then said to Peter very sternly, "Get behind me, Satan. For you are seeing things merely from a human point of view, not from God's." Then he called his disciples and the crowds to come over and listen. "If any of you wants to be my follower," he told them, "you must put aside your selfish ambition, take up your cross, and follow me. If you try to keep your life for yourself, you will lose it. But if you give up your life for my sake and for the sake of the good news, you will find true life. How do you benefit if you gain the whole world but lose your own soul in the process? Is anything worth more than your soul? If a person is ashamed of me and my words in this adulterous and sinful generation, I, the Son of Man, will be ashamed of that person when I return in the glory of my Father with the holy angels." What's really powerful about this passage is that Jesus called Peter's thinking satanic because he was setting his mind on earthly things. Oftentimes when we think of satanic thinking, we think of worshiping a demon or horror movies or messing with evil spirits or something like Halloween type stuff. That's what we think of when we think of satanic. But Jesus literally said that thinking merely from a human point of view, thinking and operating from the flesh, is satanic. James chapter 3 compares and contrasts the wisdom that comes from above with earthly wisdom, and it calls it demonic. James calls it demonic. He says, "For jealousy and selfishness are not God's kind of wisdom. Such things are earthly, unspiritual, and demonic. For wherever there is jealousy and selfish ambition, you will find disorder and evil of every kind." And literally God's saying to think apart from Christ is to think like Satan. Satan thinks apart from Christ. And to think apart from Christ is demonic. And usually when we think of demonic, right, we literally think, what I love is that Jesus says, if you seek to save your life, if you seek to make this earth your home, you will lose it. But if you seek to lose your life, to surrender to Christ, to give him your life, to live fully for the sake of his name and for his glory and to build his kingdom, that's when you'll find your life. That's when you'll find true joy, because you were never created to serve yourself. You were created to serve someone so much greater than you. And this same Jesus told Peter, "I'm going to die. I'm going to die on this cross." And Peter didn't let him, but Jesus had to die. And the reason Jesus had to die was because it was necessary to accomplish the Father's will, to bring you to salvation, to bring you to the kingdom of God, to bring you out of darkness into light, from being an enemy of God to a child of God. Jesus had to die. And Hebrews 12 says it was for joy. Jesus said the joy set before him allowed Jesus to endure the pain of the cross. And the joy that was that carried Jesus, that motivated Jesus to die on the cross, was thinking about you being saved. You are his delight. You are the one he died for, you personally.